Well, welcome, my friends. Thank you for spending time out of your busy day to join myself and Mikas Agarwal with Akron Marketing. Today, we're talking about in-client tools, and we're honored to have Mikas join us because he's the Chief Digital Officer at Akron Marketing. Welcome, my friend. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Bobby. I really appreciate it.
And if those in the audience, by the way, we have about 50% customers that are actually here to see what Mikas is up to. And then we have 50% prospects who are here to see kind of what commonsku is all about. So if you're brand new to commonsku, I just want to encourage you, like we are the #1 platform in the industry for order management, for customer communication, for production, for workflow. There are over 800 distributor companies on the commonsku platform, running about 1.8 billion in distributor network volume. Probably the coolest part to me as a former distributor myself is that the annual growth rate with the distributors on the commonsku platform is 20% compared to about a 1 to 3% percentage rate in the industry. So it's a really fascinating group of folks like Mikas who are running brilliant and beautiful businesses. And so that's why we're here to talk about how Mikas and his team are using end client tools. My name is Bobby Lehew. Some of you might know me. For those that don't know me, I was a distributor for 20 plus years. We ran a distributorship that was around 10 million in revenue, and we focused on company stores and shops. And that was my focus. And I've been the chief content officer here. And the funnest part of my job is getting to talk to people like Mikas and the cool things that they're doing as well. Let's do a quick poll real quick before we get started with our interview with Mikas. And let's talk about this. If you had to guess, how much of your time in a day is spent emailing, texting, calling back and forth with customers on projects, just going back and forth? How much would you guess your time in the day is spent? 15% of your day spent going back and forth, 30%, 50%, 75? Mikas, before commonsku, what do you think this answer would have been?
Oh man, must have been quite high. I mean, everything was all over the place. It was so hard to keep things in one area. So I would say
Right.
probably 50 to 75% at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what the poll results show. Poll results show, yeah, 75, 50% time the folks are spending on that. It's a huge, huge time waster. Thank you for joining the poll, everyone. Um, I am thrilled to talk with Mikas because I don't know, Mikas, if you want me to say this or not, but you're simultaneously juggling school while being the chief digital officer at Akron Marketing. So it's pretty cool. You're also speaking at SKUCon in January on AI. So if you want to hear about AI, you have to join us at SKUCon because today is all about in-client tools. But also, I want to say congrats, my friend, for being honored on PPAI's list of 2024 Rising Stars. It was just published like 2 days ago. So congrats for that. Lots of
Thank
cool
you.
things happening with you and Akron.
Yeah.
So before we get into in-client tools, though, I want to talk a little bit about your business because you've developed some pretty bold and ingenious ways to go to market. You have this 24/7, 365-day customer service that you provide for your clients. Free shipping and delivery, that's unheard of. No design fees, guaranteed lowest price. And inside your business, and this is one of the most fascinating things, is you're utilizing AI tools in almost every area. So tell us a little bit about Akron. When were you founded, and when did you sort of get involved in the business?
Absolutely. So Akron Marketing was founded in 97 by my father, Mikas Agarwal. I've always been involved in the business somehow. I was born in '04, so you could say I've been in the business for the last 19 years or so, but I've really had a keen eye for marketing, and my parents have always told me to, whatever you do, do the best you can, whether it's being, a garbage man or being in marketing, doesn't matter. Just be the best, do the best you can. So I've really taken that to heart. And I just found a passion for marketing. So right now I'm studying at the University of Toronto. I study marketing, obviously, and I work part-time at Akron Marketing as well on the side of my studies.
Awesome. And by the way, I meant to mention this when we started. If you have questions for Mikas, throw them in the chat. We would love to hear from you anytime throughout the conversation. The cool part about talking with Mikas is this can be a very fluid conversation. We're going to bounce all over the place, and he is more than happy to take your questions. He may even have to reply back to you if he's not sure about an answer, and we'll have his email showing you at the end of the talk here today. But Mikas, what types of clients do you serve best?
So I would say our bread and butter really is the institutions, governments, education sector. That's really where we've seen a lot of success for our distributorship. And we find that commonsku really fits well for those sector clients.
Why do you say commonsku fits well for that particular sector?
A lot of these clients are limited in their ability to kind of do bold marketing stunts and bold marketing tactics. And I find that commonsku has a lot of features that enable us to spend less time doing those like time-consuming tasks where you're placing reorders or where you're going back and forth with the client, because it's all in one central location, and the platform's really meant for that type of thing. So that's
Yeah.
why I find commonsku to be the best for our needs.
Do you have specific services you provide at Akron that are kind of unique to you?
So absolutely. I mean, every distributor has different services that set them apart from their competitors and whatnot. At Akron, we're very big in fulfillment and
Hmm.
e-store delivery for all our clients. Now, we are very much a customer-centric company, and any way or any shape that we can serve the customer better, we will. If a customer needs an offering that we don't have, we'll absolutely go the extra mile to find that offering and offer it to them, but and everyone else within our customer base.
Let's talk a little bit about the presentation tool. For folks that are new to commonsku, this will be interesting because you want to figure out what this is about. But presentations are often one of the most laborious parts in the industry in terms of aggregating ideas for customers. You have, this is interesting, a reactive sales team and a proactive sales team. Can you explain the difference between that? You use those words. I thought that was a cool way of framing it.
Yeah, and I really found that as the best way to kind of integrate our sales teams, because there's two ways our clients are realistically coming to us. One is they want something specific and they don't want to change it, which is fine, right? They have needs and they're fulfilling those needs in that way, whereas other customers really want more of a creative approach. And we find that having a reactive and a proactive sales team really helps with this type of issue. The reactive sales team are able to get inquiries out faster, quicker, because more so repeats, nothing too challenging, right? Whereas the proactive sales team are really going out there to get those creative approaches, more so like the corporations, the for-profits, that type of thing. Within commonsku, we use presentations quite a bit for our corporate clients a lot because they want to see what we can do to help them grow their ROI essentially. How can promotional marketing help them in their overall marketing plan? So that's why we use presentations a lot more because they're able to visualize this a bit more.
Do you, when you're a proactive sales team, I'm curious, like, are they doing business development, prospecting, landing deals, or are they expanding accounts, the sort of business within accounts you already have?
So it's a combination of the both, I would say. It really depends on what they're comfortable with. We like having flexibility within our company. So whatever our employees feel it fit as needed, that's what they'll do. Now, sales isn't, it's a very pushy tactic, and if they find that they're going too often after people or something like that, then we really have to go a different avenue, right? Which is expand to new clients, or find other projects that we can work on.
So, since we're talking about in-client tools and presentations, if you don't have a streamlined presentation system for your business, it really makes the business hard because we're talking about a million products, we're talking about hundreds of suppliers and clients. For those that are brand new to commonsku, how does the presentation tool itself make your team's life easier and simpler?
At the end of the day, you really have to think about it like this. How else am I supposed to present these products to a client that's really looking at it from a creative approach? And nowadays, there's PDFs, there's quotes you can send whatever you want. But I find that having a link really shows that as a company, you're very tech focused, you're very forward thinking, you're there to make their lives easier, right? Instead of sending PDFs and, oh no, the PDF is too big for the email attachment or
Yeah.
whatever it might be. Or, oh no, I printed out the wrong one because I looked at the wrong email. Having a link that goes to a project that shows a presentation is life changing, right? You can update it, they'll immediately see it. You give them a call, update your page, it's there. So having a presentation is 1,000 times better than having any PDF. And I really think
Yeah.
that's where the future is.
It also sounds like you have tapped into something that I know a lot of customers have, and that is the image that you project to your client is huge. And this happened to us, a distributor. We were always smaller than our clients. Our clients were always big B2B
Mhm.
companies. They were insurance, they were finance, they were oil and gas, whatever the industry they were in, but they were far bigger and they had more robust tools. So we needed to elevate our image to our clients.
Yeah.
So having those tools is really important.
Exactly. And I find that whatever you can do to make the client's life easier is the best route of going about.
Yeah. Since you said that, let's talk about portals just a little bit. Portals have helped your customers in two ways: easier ways to place reorders, as you said, by your clients, and the ability to look at previous order history. What has portals replaced regarding reorders?
So when I think of portals, I really think of our reactive sales team. They're kind of doing the repeats, the I want this product specifically, this logo here. And I find that for those types of clients, they just want an easy spot to look at where's all their orders, right? What
Yeah.
have I placed orders with you? How can I reorder the same thing I ordered last year for the same event, right? And it just eliminates that back and forth communication of, oh, I put the wrong number here. Or, oh, I didn't give you all the details, whatever it may be. So having a centralized portal is essential to any business nowadays. It just eliminates all that back and forth.
And yeah, speaking to that a little more, I mean, that's really what it was. You're playing the email game, other than that, right? Buried in your
Exactly.
email. That's where you live your life, is
Yep.
in email, and you're just
Hmm.
ping ponging back and forth all the time.
Right. And you'll get emails that are like one sentence long, two sentences long,
Yeah.
and it's almost like a text message at that point, right?
Right. It's aggravating.
Yeah.
How does it make, how do reorders, how does it make it easier for your clients? Like, have you heard things, or you just see that you see the activity? How do you know that's making their life easier?
So I hear a lot from our reactive sales team that when it comes to repeats, people are just going on the portal themselves because whenever we're sending an email out from commonsku anyways,
Yeah.
it always has a link to their client portal. And from that client portal, they see everything. It spits out all their projects that they've been working on with you. So for them, anytime they need to reorder something, they can easily see, project name. They could see the photos of the products, whatever it may be. Click on it and then say, let's reorder it, put some comments in, and it's done. Now, as a salesperson, as a reactive salesperson, I get that immediately. I know it's the same thing as last year. It's easy sailing from there.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I mean, one of the best things in a distributor's life as a salesperson is a reorder. Like,
Exactly.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's gold.
Yeah.
And it's because we work so hard. It's like every
Yeah.
order is a custom order, and you work so
Yeah.
hard to get that order. And then when reorder comes in, you're like, oh my gosh, I need more of these. So why is the previous history important for your customers? Like your specific customers, what are they looking for? What they spent, or are you in a type of industry where
Yeah.
reorders are common?
I think for the more price conscious customers of ours, they just want to see their history. Maybe they're looking for an invoice or a sales order or
Okay.
something that you've sent in the past, and they don't want to go digging their email. They can have this bookmarked on their Chrome. They click on it. They know we're a preferred supplier, and they have everything right there for them. If they need to send something to finance, they could just click on their invoice. They'll get a faster response by using this portal rather than emailing us. Obviously, we'll try our best to get back to them as soon as we can, but it's a more immediate effect for them. And that's what I find is the best for our clients.
Yeah. And those listening, you'll find that these tools are helpful for two people. They're helpful for clients. We're here to talk about in-client tools, but my gosh, the amount of time it saves
Yeah.
your team in terms of that.
Mhm.
Here's a question from the chat. Reorders are great, but what if there are changes to the reorder, update the art, different colored goods this year? Like, how do you handle that?
So there's an option to leave comments. So most of our clients will leave comments there, or they'll follow through with another email with the updated artwork, just because they have to attach it somewhere. So they'll just attach it there. That's what we usually do, though.
Do you have clients that have different chapters, branches, or divisions and things like that?
Yes, and it really depends how you organize your clients on commonsku. So for us, um, each division client will make as a separate client altogether. It just helps eliminate, like getting confused with who ordered what. So that's how we do it, and then that way each division gets their own portal too.
Oh, that's cool. It's a great idea. So, Alicia, I hope that answered your question. And Miles, earlier on the reorders, I hope that answered your question as well. Keep the questions coming to Mikas. He's happy to field those. Let's talk a little bit about Shops. Shops is the platform that I love because that's the business that I was in for so many years. And at commonsku, we have three different kinds of shops: marketing shops, company shops, and pop-up shops. What kinds of customers lend themselves to each shop? Are you able to segment and profile by industry? How do you determine which shop works best for your customers?
Okay, so first off, I just want to start off by saying we're all in the marketing industry, and the best way to approach this is by segmenting. And I feel like sometimes that's just overlooked. So that's how I'll talk about these shops.
Yeah.
First off, let's start with the marketing shop. We really use this as an internal marketing tool. Whenever we send out any e-blasts or do any marketing initiatives at all, there's always a commonsku marketing shop attached. The reason is you can send out as many e-blasts as you want, right? But there's no call to action, right? And if by having a place that you can click and you see more information is amazing, because whenever we send out e-blasts, they're very limited on the information. They just very simple e-blast, very image heavy. So we want to reserve that just for images. Having a shop allows them to see more information, see more photos, see pricing, and request a quote, and even upload their artwork, which is amazing for us as
Yeah.
a distributor. So that's for marketing shop. Moving on to pop-up shop, we use these for smaller businesses. And I said earlier that we're very big into the education sector. So think of schools, like small schools that have spirit wear or clubs within those schools. Even university clubs, for example, we did recently one of my university clubs. We made a pop-up shop for them. So using pop-up shops for those smaller clients, it's very simple, doesn't take much time, which is the whole idea, right? You don't want to invest 5, 6 hours into an order that's not going to yield results, right? So a pop-up shop honestly will take 30 minutes maybe to set up. For us, at least 30 minutes, maybe even less if things are more simple. And the way you can describe a pop-up shop is that it aggregates all these orders, right? So you collect orders for a period, it aggregates them all, and then it converts it into one sales order. That's the best way of thinking about it. So for a club, you have it open for a month or so. You take all these orders and then you make one bulk sales order. That's it. Uh, that's a pop-up shop. I'm moving on to
Yeah.
the last option, which is the company shop. I really recommend these for larger businesses. Think of for-profits, corporations, higher headcounts. It's very similar to a pop-up shop, but it takes all your orders into multiple sales orders. So you can fulfill them at different times whenever you need, whatever the scope of that project is. More flexibility in a way. And there's also options for inventory, which I believe, is key nowadays, right? With so many delays and not knowing when
Yeah.
stock's going to come, right?
Yeah.
So having these three abilities is key for any distributor. And I really, really encourage you to dive deep into these. I know it might be somewhat of a hassle to learn about them and then kind of like dip your toes into them, but really, this is where the future is. Put yourself out there.
We are going to get back to market segmentation in a minute because that's a specialty of yours as chief digital officer. That's expertise of yours that we're going to unpack. But I want to go back to a marketing shop for a minute because you mentioned something to me is fascinating. You build a marketing shop for basically all your clients, or do you build it by industry? How do you handle? And for those that are maybe brand new, the marketing shop allows, like, they might send if tell me if I got this right, Mikas. You might send a project out to a client. Maybe it's an email. There's a link there for them to go to a marketing shop that's either built for them or built for their industry that they can then explore even more ideas.
Yeah, so our marketing shops really tie closely with our marketing team. Anytime we do any marketing initiatives, they're very targeted. And when I say targeted, I mean we'll do marketing initiatives for schools, but we'll look specifically at high schools or elementary schools, very, very targeted. So we'll make a marketing shop that supports that. And that way we can make sure we target the customer right. So if it's an elementary school, for example, their budgets aren't crazy big. They're not looking for the highest quality goods. They just want to get the job done, right?
Yeah.
So having a marketing shop specifically for elementary schools within Canada and targeting them with an e-blast, or if it's a salesperson that's going after an elementary school, that type of thing is key.
Let's unpack that a little more and let's just jump right into market segmentation anyway, since we've talking a lot about in-client tools, but something that you've been really passionate about is you've talked about how one of the number one mistakes we make in marketing as a distributor is that we treat every audience the same. And market segmentation is huge for you. So you send these email blasts out, but behind the scenes, you're doing a lot of market segmentation. Can you speak to that a little bit more? Number one, how we're doing it so poorly and why, and then what you're doing different to do it better.
Yeah, and I find that most distributors nowadays really fail in this area because they see marketing as a blast everyone tool, which it really isn't. And I find that that's why they don't yield results in marketing. In marketing, you really have to have segments, which is when you take a population, divide it into different segments. So, for example, if I took an age range and I segmented it from 20 to 30-year-olds, 30 to 40-year-olds, 20 to 30-year-olds are buying different things than 30 to 40-year-olds. So
Yeah.
having those different segments is great. Now looking at how to target them is even better. So once you've made your segments, 20 to 30-year-olds, 30 to 40-year-olds, which one do you want to target? How are you going to target each one? Are you going to give them the same offerings? Are you going to give them different offerings? And that's what I mean by using these marketing shops, right? Those are your
Yeah.
offerings that you're giving to them. So you having a different offering for each segment is key.
And segmentation goes so deep. We used to do a lot of market segmentation around industry and then title. So
Yeah.
the kind of offering we would send to a chief marketing officer or a director of marketing is so different than what we would send to an HR professional or someone
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That makes sense.
what other types of targeted marketing are you doing in addition to like shops and email blasts? What else are you doing at Akron?
So there's a lot going on with social media nowadays. I believe LinkedIn is one of the best tools on the market at the moment. So really filtering through to what people you want to reach is key. So on LinkedIn, you can filter by, location. You can filter by their titles. You can filter by so many different variables. Use those to your advantage, right? Who's your ideal
Yeah.
customer, and how can you reach them? You can reach them through LinkedIn by targeting whatever job title they are, right? And whatever area they are. So that's like one very key tool that I find that a lot of distributors don't use at all. And maybe it's just because I'm younger, but that's what I think.
LinkedIn is it's gotten even more powerful. I think I've
Yeah,
had like the I don't know what you call it, but it's the professional version
premium.
that you can
Yeah,
premium. Thanks. I've had premium for years. Like no one has to tell me to go get premium. Like no one has to tell me. Like it's just something that I have to do as a
yeah,
professional because I don't want to not be able to reach anybody that I want to reach. And you've found
yeah,
that too, I'm sure.
yeah. And I find that premium is an essential need for every company nowadays, right? You don't
Yeah.
want to run out of in mails or anything like that. You need premium for everything.
Right, right. I also use it on the supplier side. If I have trouble with a project, like I can reach almost anyone in that organization, and through the course,
Exactly.
we make it easier through the platform because you can do it right in the platform. One of
Exactly.
the other, like what other areas, like, so we talked about marketing, email blasts, we talk about LinkedIn, talked a little bit about social, website, anything else you want to touch on in this whole marketing landscape that you're using that you can offer as a tip?
Yeah, one other thing that we do as a bigger distributor is we have landing pages for everything. So if we're sponsoring an event, if we have a special, what's it called, a special relationship with a certain association, having landing pages that again target these individuals is key. So if we're
Hmm.
offering a special, discount to a certain association, all their members, having a page where they can see that offering, see the call to action, see a marketing shop, it's all in one spot. It makes sense, and it will, yield those results that you want. I find that a lot of times people sponsor events or do things like that, but they don't have any clear call to action or clear,
It's a
website
great
with
point.
more information, right?
Yeah.
So having something like that is what you need nowadays.
Do you build these through a content management system? What are you using to build a landing page for these kinds of things?
So most of the time we end up having to do them custom because it really
Yeah.
depends on the requirements. I mean,
Right.
for smaller distributors, there's a lot of tools out there that can help you just drag and drop blocks, text blocks, whatever it might be, images. Uh, Maybe take an hour of your day, but you can leave it up for 6 months while that sponsorship is active, and have a marketing shop there too. That way, you know that you've done pretty much what you should have done, what the standard is considered nowadays, to get those customers that you want.
Yeah. Let's go back to email marketing just a little bit. We have a question from Barry in the chat. When do you use the email and the presentation tools inside commonsku, and when do you use email blasts? Like what are the different areas and what are you using for your various email blasts in that sense?
So we use eBlast as a way to stay in front of our customers most of the time. They work in the B2B business, right? Like there's so much going on in the day. How do you stay in front of them, right? So having compelling offerings in front of them. Specifically, we use a platform called Active Campaign. They're out of the US. They're an amazing platform that we use. We use a lot of their different tools. For example, predictive sending is a great one. They have AI segmenting, which is great too. So there's a lot of different features on that platform that I haven't even explored, but it's just still available to us that we use. What was the first part of your question, though?
It was kind of more around the email functionality within presentations or other ways that you're landing sales through the commonsku platform specifically.
One great thing about the platform is being able to send emails through it. I think it just saves that little effort of going into Outlook, putting that template in. It's all in commonsku. When you have a new
Right.
customer, right? When you have a new customer, put their details in, make a project for them. You have all the information there. You can email them through the platform, keep track of who's being emailed, how often you're emailing them. I think it's a great tool. And for our salespeople, they're able to track their projects, right? If they see that a project has been in like a sales order stage for a long time, they'll just look at it and see, oh yeah, I didn't send them a follow-up, or I need to do this, right?
Yeah.
So using commonsku for what it is great.
I want to touch on that too, Mikas, because I just listened to the CEO, the founder of Notion, go through their year-end review and kind of what they're rolling out for next year. And one of the things they talked about a lot was just the proliferation of apps. And our
Mm-hmm.
industry is really, really
Yeah,
bad at this. Like we get this
yeah,
real shiny tool syndrome.
yeah,
And what you just said keeps everything harmonious within the system so
yeah,
that you're frustrating yourself. Because if you just built your tech stack out, you drew it out
yeah,
on a piece of paper, you
yeah,
can find out that you have got this tech explosion of
yeah,
things, and you're spending more of your time pinging in between these tools. And what you're
yeah,
suggesting is as much as you can keep within the platform. And I know I
yeah.
work for commonsku, but I'm telling you
Mhm.
as a distributor, it will save your sanity. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, and I totally agree with what you said. Whenever you're looking for a technology partner, don't look at just, the face value of it, right? Oh, they might be giving you 30% to sign up, or oh, whatever deal they're giving you, whatever it might be, don't look at it like that. Or their platform may be really good today. You got to think of them as a partner, right?
Hmm.
When we first joined commonsku, I could see their vision of how they want to grow, right? They're more than just a software platform. I've gained so much from just SKUCon alone. I was also fortunate to go to the CEO Summit, and I had a blast there. I learned so much. There's so many open conversations that I'm able to have with other distributors, which I love. And nobody else, I believe, in this industry has been able to kind of facilitate that, which I absolutely love. So whenever you're looking at a technology partner, always look at the bigger picture, right? Maybe they don't have this small feature today, or maybe they don't have this field today that you need on a project. So what? You got to look at the bigger picture, and 5 years down the road, you'll be so happy that you chose them.
So such great advice. No matter who you partner with, it's such great advice.
Yeah.
We have about 3 minutes left. So if you have a question for Mikas, please throw it in the chat as well, and we will get that question out. And it can be anything at all. Feel free to throw it to Mikas. I want to ask a few things. We're saving the details for SKUCon, but you were going to
Hmm.
speak at SKUCon on AI. Can
Hmm.
you sort of give us a glimpse of the kinds of things you'll share at SKUCon? Maybe you can demonstrate maybe one area. So now,
Yeah.
now we're stealing from your presentation, but tell us about one area we're using AI that you really love.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a big fanatic over AI, and we've really fine-tuned where we're using AI within the company. We broke it down by department. What apps does each department use, and how can we implement AI within these apps? A lot
Hmm.
of these apps already have AI built into them. Are we using them to their full capabilities? And I'm not talking about generative AI. I'm talking about strategic AI. AI that can really help you more than just, oh, fix this up, fix my grammar type of thing. So at SKUCon, I'll be diving deep into each one of our departments within our organization and say, for our sales team, these are the apps they use, but this is how we use AI within these apps. And it'll be a great way to kind of give you guys insight as to how you can use AI within your apps, because there's a lot of things that we don't use. One example off the top of my head was our email blast through Active Campaign. We have a feature called predictive sending that sends e-blast when it's most convenient to the user. So I click send. Within a 24-hour period, an e-blast will be sent to the person. And it depicts this based off their previous history. So if they've opened an e-blast or last e-blast at 9 a.m. A month ago, it keeps track of that. What about the month before that? If it was 9 a.m. again, it keeps track of that. Now, when I send this e-blast today, it'll send it out for tomorrow at 9 a.m. to make sure, they'll open it. It's the highest chance that they'll open it. So that's one example that I'll be talking about at SKUCon, but I'll be really breaking it down by department and applications that we use for you guys to go through and hopefully bring some ideas.
Very cool. Very cool. I don't see any more questions in the chat. I know we have a little bit of a connectivity issue. I don't know if that's just on my end or maybe Mikas, you're fine on your end, but we're going to keep
Yeah.
rolling here. We're wrapping up anyways, in case anyone's wondering if they're missing anything. I want to mention this, that if you have any questions, wait, let's do one more poll.
Okay.
Let's do one more poll. And this poll is going to be, Gartner once predicted that 80% of B2B buying would be through digital channels by 2025. That's a startling number. I kind of blew the answer there, but basically it blows my mind what percentage, thanks for voting, by the way. It blows my mind that in-client tools, we used to think of in-client tools as just shopping cart technology, but now that's become more. We talked about portals. We talked about presentations. I think we need to think, Mikas, you think in terms of the tools that your clients use. It's no longer just, are they using the shopping cart? Because portals and things like that open up a better opportunity for them.
Yeah, for sure. And I find that portals is kind of a new canvas for us distributors. There's so many opportunities, right? You can have so many self-serve tools there for them to use and really get their immediate results. So I think that it's a great idea. And the more investment that we see into it, the more relief that us distributors will feel essentially.
If you want to reach out to Mikas, I'll show his email in just a minute. But in case you want just more information, we have a newsletter called The Backpack, and it's one of our favorite things that we produce. And what we do with The Backpack is every first and third Friday of the month, we send an email out that features trends in merch in the market worldwide. And I personally go through 2 times per month. About 288 stories we'll publish in a year of the coolest things happening in the market. We go through 2,000 potential stories. It's the first and third Friday of each month. You can sign up on our blog at commonsku.com/blog. And if you have questions for Mikas, he has been very generous with not only his time today, but his time tomorrow, because he has said you can email him with more questions if you'd like. So reach out to Mikas for that. Thank you, Mikas, for doing that.
For sure.
And if you're like, I want a demo now of commonsku, we won't blame you. Reach out to Jacob, account executive Jacob. He'd be happy to help you, Jacob at commonsku.com. But Mikas, thank you, my friend. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for being part of this. And thank you for being such an important and special part of the community. We love working with you.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Bobby.
All right. Thank you, my friends. And I hope you all have a great day.